When we are children, our fathers appear to us as giants. At 4 years old, my dad was the best man in the world. He could lift me high into the air, fix broken toys with a twist of his hand, and make me laugh with the smallest joke. At 6, I believed he knew everyone: neighbors, shopkeepers, strangers on the street. He seemed to carry the whole world in his pocket, and I felt safe inside it. But childhood doesn't last forever. At 10, I began to notice that Dad was good, yes, but also a little tough. His rules felt heavier, his voice firmer. At 12, I heard stories of him as a boy, and I thought, he must have been so good once, so innocent. By 14, I felt him changing. He wasn't the hero of my imagination anymore. He was stricter, more distant, harder to please. At 16, I was convinced he didn't understand anything at all. And at 18, he seemed harder still, as if every word between us was a battle. I wondered how my mother managed to live with him day after day. By 20, I thought of him as impossible. His ways, his rules, his stubbornness, it was all too much. At 25, I felt he was against everything I wanted. At 30, I looked at him and thought, so this is what Grandpa must have been like. I could hardly agree with him on anything. He seemed to belong to another world, one I didn't want to enter. And yet, time has a way of softening the edges of memory. At 35, with children of my own, I began to see things differently. I realized he had raised me within rules, not to cage me, but to guide me. I found myself repeating his words, his lessons, his warnings, passing them on to my children, almost without noticing. At 40, I understood the hardness I once resented. He had raised us with discipline because he wanted us to survive, to grow strong, to walk the right path. At 45, when my own children tested my patience, I finally saw how much effort it had taken for him to keep us steady, how much love was hidden inside his firmness. By 50, I could see the long arc of his life. My father had planned everything with care, not for himself, but for us. He was kind in ways I had been too young, too proud, too angry to recognize. He was, in truth, a special man. And after 50 years of misunderstanding, resisting, and rebelling, I found myself back where I had begun. My dad is the best. This is the strange cycle of fathers and children. We begin in awe, we drift into conflict, we resist, we reject, and then, slowly, we return. It takes a job, a family, a lifetime of responsibility to finally understand the man who raised us. And by the time we do, we realize that what felt like hardness was often love in disguise. So let us honor our fathers while they are still alive. Let us love them, even when they are difficult, even when they seem impossible to understand. And for those whose fathers are no longer here, let us carry them in memory, with gratitude and forgiveness. For in the end, every father is a reminder of how fragile, how flawed, and yet how deeply devoted human love can be. The cycle takes 50 years to complete, but when it does, we find ourselves back at the beginning. My dad is the best, and perhaps, in the quiet of our own lives, our children will one day say the same of us.